Welcome, 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 my dear beautiful beings. I am so glad to be here with you today. So today I want to talk to you about mm, the feminine energy when it's repressed. How does it look like? How does it show up? We talk about the feminine energy, Shakti, the Shakti is this feminine energy. Um and and sometimes our feminine energy is repressed. And so I think it's important to know how does it show up, so that we can put more awareness into this kind of energy. So lately I've been reconnecting with a woman that I met virtually, like we've never actually talked, but I met her virtually in 2020. I attended a Divine Feminine summit. It was all online and it was very fun. And there was like so many beautiful, amazing women that just like helped me reconnect with some of my feminine parts that were a little shut down. And this particular woman, she she woke up something in me, something that was dormant for a lot of time. Her name is Sabrina Lynn, and shout out to her. I think I'm gonna link her podcast down below because what she does is it's very unique, it's very her, and it's very fun, and she's amazing. So I think I'm gonna link her thing down below so you can take a look at what she's done. And she was so intense. That's the word. She was so intense. And I am very intense. Like I'm someone that is very intense, and throughout my life I've tried to hide that a lot because I feared that I was going to be rejected or that I was going to be too much, because that's the message that I got from, like, the school system and my family and all the people around me. Like, you're too intense, you're too this, you're not enough, or you're too, like, you're too much, like there was always something. But the too intense part, too emotional, too angry, too this, too that, it actually like got to me at one point. And there was like a part of myself that decided to shut everything down, and so that I can become this this good girl. And I was not good at hiding who I am. So I would just like throw major tantrum all the time. Like, I remember the moment. I do remember when it was in school, second grade. I had like this very strict teacher, and first grade was already like, you got to learn how to shut up. Second grade, that's where it just like took a toll, like I got sent in the corner because I was talking in class. And it was so humiliating that I made the decision to just like shut everything down. And it's funny, you can see it in my school pictures. When I'm in kindergarten, I'm like so freaking happy, so light, so like energetic, and first grade as well, because the pictures are taken at the beginning of the year. And so I'm like, ding, I'm and second grade, like already, you see that I'm like, I get a little faking it, like I'm faking it, I'm faking a smile. And then the rest of the pictures that we took in school, they're like always like, you can feel like that it's not me. You can feel that it's not me. Like I'm already repressed. And so yeah, so I think it's a good idea to just talk about how does it show up when it's repressed, when this feminine energy is repressed. Hello, beautiful being. I bet you're here because you're looking for creative ways to live your life. If I found my way to your ears today, you probably want this life to have meaning, you care for deep conversation, and you wish for us to always evolve into a better version of ourselves. Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Shakti's Gift. My name is Marigol Era. I'm an unschooling mother, a creative force, an Ayurvedic wellness coach, and mostly a trailblazer. I've been unschooling my kids since the beginning of my motherhood journey 13 years ago. And let me tell you that after more than a decade and many experiences, I feel we need to gather more than ever and evolve together as mothers. You don't have to be unschooling to enjoy this podcast. You don't even need to be a mother. Everyone willing to support this amazing journey of raising the next generation is deeply welcome here because it truly does take a village. It's time to create change, and the ripple effects of those changes are infinite. So I say, let's transcend those barriers, those limiting beliefs. We don't need them anymore. And let's make room for creative ways to improve our lives instead, so that we can impact positively the future of humanity. Ready? All right. Go grab yourself something to drink, make yourself comfortable, and let's dive deep into Shakti's gift. The feminine energy is not only for women, so men has that as well. And I'm not talking about the feminine energy as women, but in tantra we say that the feminine and the masculine energy, we have it both, but like people that are in a woman's body, they have like two part feminine and one part masculine, and the ones that are in the masculine body are like two part masculine and one part feminine. I think that right now, like all gender, like it's all very fluid, so you play with it as it feels right for you. But I just wanted to mention that the feminine energy is not only for women, everybody got that. All right. So if you're a man and you feel that your feminine is repressed, I don't know how this may speak to you, but hopefully you find something in there for you. When I met this virtually this woman, Sabrina, and with her intensity, oh my God, did it awaken something in me? It was. Mm. It was so cool. It was so cool to listen to her and to see her like owning this intensity, this Shakti, this energy, this, she was owning it 100%. And it was so beautiful. And I was like, well, that's so crazy because I found it very beautiful in her, but somehow like, why don't I do that myself? And I just keep that for people that are very close to me. Like I would never go to a family meeting with that intensity. Like and that's why it's so freaking hard for me to just go and um to go in those dinner where like there's like all the family and they're all asking you question and like you get like choked up because you don't want to show up as yourself because you're going to get crucified for the thing you're thinking or the thing you're doing or whatever. So when I saw her, it just like reignited something in me that it was like, yeah, I need to go back to that because my intensity, the way it showed up because I was repressing it was by tantrum, like even as an adult, like, and people actually knew me as someone that would just like be um unstable, dangerous, and yeah, you have to walk on eggshell when they're around me because they never know if I'm gonna just like jump out of my skin. When we are repressed in this feminine energy that needs to move, it will move. It will move. It has to move. This is Shakti. This is the gift. This is the gift. And so this energy needs to move. And so when we repress it, there are consequences that we encounter, that um we have to deal with. And so I have seven ways that the feminine energy is repressed. The first one that I want to talk about is repressing our emotion. As I was just a little bit talking about that. So I think it's a good way to go into that. So when we repress our emotion, like when we're suppressing our emotion, we don't want to show up as angry or sad or I don't know, whatever the emotion is, intense, struggling. Yeah, that's a sign. That's a major sign that your feminine energy is repressed. Like, we say that emotions are energy in motion, which is Shakti, right? The Shakti means energy, it means power, and emotions are something that is moving in the energy, right? So yeah, so when we suppress those emotion and like we're working someplace and we don't want to cry even though we're freaking tired and we just want to lay down and cry our eyes out, or if we're in, I don't know, some place, and we just like, oh, what people are gonna think, and we repress those emotions. It's just like it comes like boiling inside of us, and we're shooting ourselves in the foot when we do that. And so if if I, if you encounter this a moment where you're repressing, just notice it. Just like bring that into your awareness, into like your consciousness that this is a sign. This is a sign that you may need to be back in a relationship with your feminine energy. All right. So the second one that I want to talk about is when we're disconnected from natural rhythms. And for us as women, like for sure, there's like the season, right? There's like the summer, fall, winter, spring. These are, and there's like the natural rhythm of the day. And so you got the night, and you got the morning, and you got like the afternoon. And so there's a rhythm there. And also, as women, we have our own internal rhythm with our cycles, our moon cycles that are coming every month. And so we're going through all of those seasons every month, every month. All right. Every month we go through a winter season. That's when we are bleeding. And then we go to spring, which is like this moment where we're rebirth and we relive, and then we feel like sexy and empowered, and like we feel that there's like something new coming in. And then we go to summer, which is like when we are ovulating and we're so sexy and we want to just like like be out there and show ourselves, and we're glowing. And then we have this PMS part of the cycle, which is fall, where you see everything starting to slow down and just like, you know, trying to, everything is like in process of dying. And so we go through that every month. And I feel like this one is a big one because as women, the society, the society, I don't want to play the victim card though, but the society, the way we built it, and we built it, we participated in building this society, but we built it forgetting that we have those cycles. And so we have to act like we don't have that. And so put a tampon on and do as you would do the rest of the month, but it's not true. This is not true. Our body is not built for that, not at all. And so when we're disconnected with these cycles, the one that we live through every month and the one that we live outside of us, it's a major sign that we're repressed. And I I can see that because for myself, I know that I live according to my cycles. And so when I'm menstruating, I will not work at all. I will take a day or three off. It's important for me because, and I'm not saying that everybody got to do that. And we all go through those cycles the way we want. I've heard women that likes to move a lot through this part of the cycles. But for me, it's a moment of like introspection and just like coziness, and I just want to be like watching TV and drinking hot tea and just like being like in this experience in my body. And so it doesn't matter how you want to experience those cycles, but to put that into awareness as well, so if it feels right for you when you're in your moon cycle, when you're menstruating, to move, then that's what you do. But you don't do it because you have to or because you're supposed to. You do that because that's what feels right for you. And so that's what I mean, like, and to listen to our bodies um around that. That's it. Like, it's the feminine energy thrives on that. If we're repressed, this might be a sign for you that you are, if you're not listening, or if you think it's weird, or I've seen other women, like, giving me the what? You're not working when you're bleeding, like, that's crazy. Well, maybe it's crazy, but it is the way that I want to experience life, like, it's not a competition, and I'm not saying that I have the right answer. What I'm saying is that get to know your cycle and act according to them, to reconnect yourself with your own feminine power. All right, so the third one that I want to talk about is if we feel disconnected from our body. And so I just talked about our period and this cycle, but now I want to talk about the body's language. The feminine energy is in tune with the body language. So if you have like a belly ache, or I don't know, anything, a flu or the flu or a cold or anything, the feminine energy, the feminine, divine feminine knows that there is something going on. And that's the body's way to tell you. So when we're disconnected from our body, it's a sign that we're repressed in our feminine energy. So yeah, so if you have like a belly ache or something going on, right? This is a message. This is a message for you. And I know this is controversial. I don't care. This is what I think. This is what I know. When my body is aching in some ways, I know that it is telling me something very specific most of the time, but mostly it is a sign for me to just like take more time to just like, move through something, or to sit my ass down if I'm just too chaotic. That happen. But yeah, like when your body is getting sick, when your body is having an imbalance, like in Ayurveda, we talk about the dosha. And so if we're having an imbalance in those doshas, um, my perception of it is that the body is telling you something, and it's very fun to play with that with Ayurveda, because um it's all related with the elements. And so if you have an excess pitta, well, that means you have like maybe too much fire in your life. In So maybe you feel angry, maybe you have too much to do, or maybe you are so organized that it just like keeps you from being more into your intuition. And so yeah, so the doshas are a modality to help us understand these imbalances. And that's what I love about Ayurveda. So yeah, so when your body is becoming like, or tapping into an imbalance, yeah, take some time, get to know your body, like what's going on, like there is something going on. And so something we can do is to just like reconnect with our body and try to understand what does it say. And the more you do it, the more you're going to get to know its language, and you can partner up with your own body, which is amazing. All right, so the next one, fourth sign that your feminine is repressed, your feminine energy is repressed, is a disconnection with your intuition. If you feel like you don't know where to go or what to choose, or you feel like your life doesn't represent you, or that, I don't know, you don't like your house or where you're living, those are signals to help you understand that you may be disconnected from your intuition. It is it's a tricky one. It's very easy to be disconnected by with our intuition when when we have this to-do list and we have all those things, piled up that we need to do, like to take care of our family and to go to work and take care of the house and all of that. And it's very easy to just like succumb to, a daily habit or daily routine that just like disconnect us from this intuition, and to have like the space to keep on creating your day, even though we have so much to do, but to create space to help us like reconnect with that. It's crucial. It's crucial. um I was talking about that in an early episode where I was talking about my motherhood and how it helped me reconnect with my intuition in a very, very powerful way. And to be able to say that this is a yes, this is a no, this is where I need to go, this is where what I need to do, and to be like confident in this is it. Like when you're trying to figure it out, or you doubt yourself, like you're not connected with your intuition is not doubting, like you don't doubt it, like your intuition is, it's strong. You just know that you know where to go. And it's a superpower. It's a superpower. And it can be scary to tap into this intuition, because sometimes our intuition is going to tell us to do crazy stuff that logically in our daily life doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. But when we do follow this little voice inside of us that is telling us the truth, because the intuition, I feel like it's always telling us the truth. When we do listen to that, our life is changing, because I don't think we know how much power we have lying in that intuition. Like it, when you move through life with your intuition, that's where it gets magical. And it's amazing. It's amazing. All right. So the fifth one, it's all connected. I loved it. I love it. It's all like super connected. But the fifth one is when we fear the unknown. And I wanted to go there because I think it's related with not following our intuition. And so when we fear the unknown, it's because, yeah, we don't know. We don't know, and it's scary. But if we're connected with our intuition, we just we just trust that no matter what's going to happen, it's going to happen, and it's going to be all right because it's meant to happen. I have so many moments in my life where I am just like stepping into the unknown and just not even thinking about it. Because if you start to think about it, then you're stepping outside your intuition, and then you're starting to doubt and you're starting to question everything. And my best story around that is that moment where I was working at a farm with a wonderful, wonderful man that I loved, not like to be my lover, but like he was my friend, and I loved him. And I was working with him and I was learning so much. And at one point I had this intuition that I needed to get out, like to to go and travel, and so it was like the end of the season, and it just made sense because I wasn't gonna work anymore. And so I I decided to follow my intuition, and it was crazy. I was like I was writing this little electrical scooter that had like not a lot of like room. I could do like this one trip, this round trip, and that's it. And so I was in my on my little scooter, and then I saw this car that was for sale. And I just knew inside of me, this is my car. I need to buy this because I need to go travel in this car. And it was crazy. It was like this little rusty little car on the side of the road, $700. And I just knew. It was like, this is my car. I don't know how I'm gonna buy it, but this is my car. And so I stopped, I took the number, and I found the guy. I just called him and I was like, this is my car. And he was like, all right, you want to come and try it? And so I came, I tried it, and I told him that I'm gonna buy it. And I did, that's the kind of moment where I don't even know where I got the money, but like I got this amount of money, and I bought it. And I left and I went to California and I got pregnant, and that led me to where I am right now. Like if I didn't buy this one little Mazda 323 green hatchback car, like I wouldn't be here with you talking about this powerful um intuition and stepping into the unknown. I didn't know that I didn't even know that I was gonna get to California. I had no idea. I just like took the car and I just like hit the road, and I didn't even know where I was going. And I just like I didn't question it. I just didn't question it. And I just kept on rolling, kept on, you know, eating the road all like over and over up until the moment where I stopped in California, and that's where I met this guy, and that's how I got pregnant. And and so I know it's scary not to know what's gonna happen, but when we can develop this trust, this deep inner trust that everything is there to support you. Like I could have, like so many things could have happened in this trip. Like it could have died, I could have been raped, I could have been like so many things. I was not in a good like safe space in California. Like I was in the South where like it was pretty ghetto. And but still like everything was fine, and I was fine, and I was protected. And I like for some reason, I don't know, like like I'm pretty sure you can find at least one story like that in your life, like at least one, like where you actually followed your intuition, even when if it was like when you were really young. I'm sure you can find one little story in your life where you found this trust, this powerful trust that everything's going to be fine. So yeah, so if you feel like you have this fear of the unknown, that's a signal that the feminine is repressed. The feminine doesn't fear the unknown. She's just trusting that the movement's going to lead her where she needs to be. That's it. All right, this one, the sixth one, it's a big one. It's a big one for me. I know it's a big one for me. I don't know for you, but it's a big one. So if you lack community, or if you miss having like a sisterhood and just like having friends, like really close friends, not social media friends that doesn't know shit about you, but really like close friends that you can call and say, I need to speak to you, or something is up with me, I need to talk it out, or take my baby and I'm gonna go take a bath, or that kind of like group of women that are there to support you no matter what. I know it's like it's still trending online, like the sisterhood thing, but really like something deeper than that, something deeper than a Facebook group. And I know that it can be deep, a Facebook group, it can be deep, but I'm talking like real life, tangible community where you can count on one another. And I didn't have that for most of my life. And I did touch that a little bit when I was pregnant with my first daughter, and when I gave birth, and like the whole year after that. So I had like a period of like almost 2 years of being surrounded by a lot of women that were like supporting me, and that I was supporting them as well. Like, I mean, sometimes I question myself why I left, because um it was it was very nurturing. It was very nurturing, and I've never felt that after that. And I remember getting after this moment when I felt very supported by other women. I decided to go and live in alternative community in the north of Quebec, and people over there, they were not living according to that, and that I thought that they would, but they were not. And the women, they were starting to have babies, and my baby was a little older. She was like 1, and but they were just like giving birth, and so for me, the natural thing to do was to be there for these women, and to be there and to help them, nurture their baby and take their baby, and like just hold them when they go to freaking pee, um if they just want to go outside by themselves and just like reconnect and move this energy and just like. But yeah, it wasn't like that, and so I ended up alone in the north, where there's basically no one. And it was to go from one to another, from one situation where I'm super supported to another where I'm freaking alone in the woods with my baby. Oh my god, it was just so painful. And at this moment where I just never reconnected with women after that, like on a real 3D level where I can just like give them my baby so that I can just like go into a very long and hot shower for 30 minutes, um yeah, yeah. And so that's a sign that the feminine is repressed. And for me, I know that this is my major sign right now. And the way I see it, it's just the way that the feminine will communicate with me. That's how I see it. And so if I'm lacking community, so this is a sign. This is a really big sign that your feminine is little repressed, I'm gonna give you an advice, and I'll give it to myself as well. But I think the advice for this signal, this one, when we lack community, is to just go out there and to put ourselves out there, and so that's actually my goal this year, to just like go out there to try to connect with real people. So yeah, so that would be the advice that I'm giving to myself and to you. The seventh one, that's a very good one. The seventh one is when we're reluctant to self-care or to nurturing, And so if you think about self-care and you go, ugh, that's a sign your feminine is repressed, because the feminine just loves this stuff. Oh my God. When I was in Ayurveda school, oh my God, we were talking about that all the time. It was so fun because, we need it. And it's very fun. And there was like a running gag that in the program that we could just do that all day. When we tap into our feminine side, we can just do that all day, just like nurture ourselves and do some self-care. It is so good. It is so good. I will tell you that self-care, and not just like taking a bath, but like deeper self-care. Yeah, you do stuff that feels right for you. So it doesn't matter what it is, but to really go into that self-care. And sometimes self-care is dancing naked. And sometimes self-care is reading a book or just being in silence or go and run in the woods. Oh, I remember I loved running in the woods. Like I just went and run in the woods, and it was very nurturing to just like move this energy out of my body, because this Shakti is there, and we are those Shakti, like the feminine energies inside of us. And so when we don't let it move, we get stuck with it, and then like just like we suffocate in it. And so that's why I love putting oil in my body, because it's like a movement, and you can go into like movement, like flowing movement, and just like understanding how your body wants to move, and just like discover that's self-care as well. um so yeah, so there's so many ways to do that, but to be able to nurture ourselves and to dare to take the time in your day to do so, like even if it's just a 5 minutes to start, it doesn't matter. Like I like to do it like for 4 hours a day. Like I'm crazy like that. But I'm not saying that you have to do that for 4 hours. Like, I mean, you find what is crucial for you, and how you see how you want to nurture your life, you know? If you have like a very, very busy day and you move throughout the day all the time, maybe you can move with more consciousness. Or if you are exhausted, you can maybe just not move, or maybe do some yin yoga where you just like hold in those amazing position where you just like surrender to this movement. The one thing that I know is that when the feminine is repressed, we need to move. That's the thing. It needs to move. The feminine needs to move. I know we can have this habit of going and meditate when we feel repressed, or like we need to go inward. But the feminine energy, just that's the masculine energy. The masculine energy will love to meditate. And I'm not saying don't meditate, of course not. I love it. I love meditating. It's amazing. It's more a masculine practice, if we in Ayurveda, the way we see it, and then movement, it's more the feminine energy. Like even like when we were meditating in Ayurveda, the way we were meditating and the way I still meditate will be to just like put my hands on my body, on my collarbone, let's say, or and to just like really feel this tangible stuff. And you can even like move your body, move your finger through like on your bones, or you can hold your arm and to put pressure on your arm, and meditate in this way, so that you can keep some movement in there and something tangible. The feminine energy is in the body. It's like this Shakti, this transformation. And so when we have like emotion or thoughts or anything, it just needs to move. It needs to be out there, in a way that makes sense, not repressed. So yeah, no matter how your body needs to move, whether it's to go outside and like just observe the tree that are moving with the winds and just like follow their movement. Or if you want to go, if you need to be more outside, you can go by a river or maybe the sea if you're lucky, and just like observe the waves and to just like move with them, um it doesn't matter. We need to be creative. Like when we are in this feminine energy, we are there to create something, so we can create ways not to be repressed. And so yeah, so I want to invite you to feel, to really feel like which one of these seven um spoke to you the most. Like which one is the more repressed one, and which one is the more alive one, because I'm pretty sure that probably like you're not like repressed. Well, maybe you are repressed that all of those sevens are not like online, and that's fine. Like we're all where we need to be. Um, so what I want to invite you to do is to take one, choose one that should really speak to you. Just feel how you want to work with it. Just feel like whether it's like the lack of sisterhood or community, or if you want to work with reconnecting your intuition, or if you want to like work with embracing your emotion, whatever which one you want to work with, I invite you to just choose one and just like explore it and see where it takes you. All right. I think that's it for me today. Thank you so much. Thank yourself for exploring this repressed feminine. Like it's the first step, to find the true meaning for you, what it means for you to be in that feminine power. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm always very willing to answer questions. I love getting invitation. So yeah, so let me know what if you have any questions or if you want to have some guidance. All right, so that's it. I'm sending you so much love, so much light, and we'll talk soon. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope it inspired you to create new ways in your life. Remember, you can always support Shakti's Gift by reviewing it on Apple Podcast, following it wherever you like it best, and sharing your favorite episodes with your community. It's always great to receive your feedback, so let's spark conversation in the comments and create connections between us. You can also buy me a coffee by clicking the link in the description of the show, and I'll mention you in the next intro. I'll leave you with this great quote by Osho. Creativity is the greatest rebellion in existence. I wish you guys an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you next week.